Hi guys, this is Ari Sweeney here to talk about another passage from the book Praying with the Latter Prophets as part of the Praying with the Bible series. Today I wanted to talk about the passage in Isaiah 12 where we see God talking about prayer. And so it's kind of an interesting passage where it's not looking at how someone else had prayed, so it's not examining a prayer that we see modeled for us in that way, but it's actually God speaking to Isaiah and saying, here's how my people are going to pray when my new creation comes about and when I bring about my purposes in the world. Um, and so I thought that was really interesting because that's kind of the context that we live in. When we are followers of Jesus, we get to experience that new creation now, today, in this life. And so this prayer that God models for us of what His believers would pray like in the future is really our prayer. And so it's interesting how the prayer is modeled. And I talked about in the book kind of a progression that it goes through. And I don't think it's necessarily that we're always supposed to follow this progression exactly, but you can kind of just see in the way the prayer progresses. It starts with just a thanksgiving in God for the relationship that we have in Him and a reflection on the things that we have received from Him. Not in that we're like buttering up, like, oh God, you're so good. Thank you so much. Look at all these. But it's for ourselves. Like, I know this God and I have this rich history and this experience with His love for me, and then using that to springboard into our current circumstances. So, God, I'm in this situation and I really could use help with this, or I'm worried about that, or whatever. But it's already rooted in that past experience of knowing God and knowing what kind of God that He is. So then we explain our circumstances, and then the very next thing that it talks about is a choice, a choosing to trust. Like, God, I have these concerns, or I'm worried about this, I'm asking for these things, and I choose to trust you. Even though I'm anxious, I choose to trust. Even though I don't have what I need, I choose to trust. And so it's bringing it back to that choosing to trust. And then there's a rejoicing. It's acting as though God is going to answer your prayer. Like, God, thank you that I can bring this up. I'm so excited that you wanted to hear my prayer and that I can know that you're good. Those sorts of things where we're actually rejoicing before we've even received, because we know the faithful God that we're coming to in prayer, because that's where we started. And so I talk about that a little bit more in the book, but that's kind of the general idea of what I talked about in this passage. Hope it's a blessing. Thanks.